Well, here we are, back at an old familiar stamping ground. We're back up at Shearwater just for the day. We just fancied going somewhere where we can have a nice big chuck. Sun's shining, it's a bit blowy, but let's see what the day brings.
Okay, it's the end of January, we're at Shearwater. It's a chilly old day, the weather's a bit dodgy. We're going to make some Chunky Fishermans Soup, really nourishing, really warming. Not only that, we're going to make some soda rolls in the oven there. So let's see what pans out, let's hope the weather holds off. And first thing we're going to make, because they need baking, is the soda bread. Now the recipe is going to be at the end of the film, so if you want the recipe, you want to make it yourself, whether you want to make it at home or by the bank, no problem. Really easy. We've got 6 ounces of self-raising wholemeal flour. I weighed that at home, so I can just tip it straight into, this is going to be my bowl. Look at that. This is 6 ounces of plain flour. Again, that's going to be mixed. Okay, next thing we need is half a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to guess this. That'll flavour your bread. Okay. And then we need half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Just get a fork, mix that all together so all the flours are mixed. There. Now you don't have to, but I like seeds in my soda bread. I'm just going to put a few of them in there. Doesn't really matter how many, you could use poppy seeds, sunflower seeds, anything you like. Okay, we're going to make a well in the centre. We've got buttermilk. This acts as the fat and the milk in soda bread, so it keeps it really simple. All of that's going in. Gives it a lovely rich flavour. Okay, it's just a question of mixing this in now, nice and lightly. Don't want to overwork it, don't want to mix too much, you just want to bring it all together. Now if I feel that's not enough, I have some milk here which you can just add. The secret with soda bread and muffins is not to work it too much. So you can see it's still very floury and crumbly. But now we need to just shape it into our rolls. Right, I have a little baking sheet here that's perfect for fitting in the oven. I'm just going to oil it. I literally just spread the oil all over the tin to stop them sticking. Now it's just a question of shaping the rolls. I've got this board specially for this. There's one. And finally 6. Right, just need to wash my hands now. Okay, soda bread always classically has a cross in the middle, so we just literally just get the knife, and as that rises, that'll be more distinctive. Okay, those babies are ready to go in the oven now. Just going to put those in. Bake them for about half an hour now. Okay, the Chunky Man Soup. We've got some bacon, some leek, some celery, some potatoes, some swedes, some peas, some lentils, parsley, some fresh thyme at the garden, and some kale. So what I'm going to do is, it really doesn't matter what combination of vegetables you do. I've just had a really good rummage in the fridge, use up what I've got, and put it together, so anything goes really where the soup's concerned. The key is on chunky. We want it to be a really tasty, nourishing meal in this cold weather. So let's start this off. First thing we're going to do is cut the onion up. Now you always cut on the top end. This way, when you cut it in half, the root is keeping all the layers intact, they don't fall apart. Let me just peel it. Okay, we just get rid of that. Okay, don't need to cut the onions fine. Everything's chunky today. You want to be able to make out the pieces in the soup. There we go. Next, we're going to light the stove. Put a little bit of oil in the bottom of the pan, stop it sticking. And then into that we're going to chuck the onion. I also have a leek here, which I'm going to do the same. We lose that top end, we cut down through the middle, and we can move those outer dirty layers. I just want to check there's no grit in between. That doesn't taste good. Normally at home we'd have a tap for this. And then chunky layers. That's that. Right, let's get rid of the rubbish. Next, the celery, just a stick. Again, just nice coarse chunks. Job's a good one. The carrot. Top and tail. Might just do half circles. That can go in with the onion. And it goes. Get rid of the rubbish again. Right, I have bacon in this bag. You don't have to use bacon, you could use chicken. But because it's raw bacon, we're just going to cook it. That'll add a really nice flavour into the base of the soup. About 3 rashers there. Just going to cut it into rough chunks. It's a really quick meal to do if you come in from work and it's cold. It takes about half an hour. Right, the onions are cooking. Just a question of waiting for a minute. We can carry on prepping the vegetables. I'm not going to worry about the bacon on the board because this is all going into the same pot. I'm just going to peel this potato. This is a waxy kind of potato, so it holds its shape, it won't mush like some of the floury potatoes. This is like a baking potato that you buy in the shop already washed, but it will hold its shape and not break up. And the same with this Swede. Possibly don't need all of the Swede, just going to use half. Just a question of peeling it off. Okay, my onions and the carrots are sauteing really nicely. That means we're sauteing, that means we don't really want particularly a lot of colour on it, but we are cooking out the vegetables there. The next thing that's going to go in is the bacon, so we just chuck that in. As I say, this is smoked bacon, so that'll add a really nice flavour. That'll go back on the heat now. Smell the soda bread cooking now, it's really starting to smell nice out here. Right, the next thing we need to do is dice up the Swede. Emphasis on chunky again. This whole soup is paced around the fact that different vegetables take different times to cook. So the Swede is going to be one of the earliest ones to go in. That's that ready. Potato next. Just into coarse dice. Okay, that's all the vegetables that need prepping for now, ready. It's just a question of waiting for the bacon to brown off and caramelise, which will add flavour to the soup. Okay, we've cooked up our bacon, the onion and the carrot in there. Next thing to go in is the Swede. I'm not going to add the potato yet because that will take slightly quicker than the Swede will. And I'm going to add some chicken stock. These are just little chicken stock pots that you buy, or if you've got some homemade chicken stock, that's even better, or just a stock cube. That goes in, and then we just need some water. There we go. I'm just going to add the water now. That should do it. We just want to immerse the vegetables into water, allowing for the other vegetables that we've still yet to go in. So I'm just going to season that. That's pepper and some salt. Need to make allowance for the stock, because sometimes if you're using, like I am, it can be more salty, the little stock pots or the stock cubes. It's just a question of putting a lid on that and waiting for it to come to the boil now. Okay, we are boiling. I've got some thyme from home here. The secret with thyme is literally just to chuck it in on the stems. The leaves will all boil off and then you can just lift out the stems. So I'm just going to chuck that in. That'll give it really nice flavour. Next, I've got some green split peas. This will act two ways. One, it'll offer really nice nourishment for the soup, but also it will thicken it. So we're going to chuck some of that in. That's a few of those. I also have here like a soup mix, which has got all sorts of things: pearl barley, yellow peas, red split lentils. Really nice mixture of things in there, which again will thicken the soup and add flavour and nourishment. At this point I'm now going to add the potatoes. I also want to put some of the celery in because I want the flavour from it. Okay, as you can see now, this is starting to thicken up. I'm just going to bring that to the boil again. Okay, for the eagle-eyed amongst you, you may have noticed when I was frying the bacon that the oven disappeared. Really, really windy, so we moved it into the bivvy. Now we've got it back outside, the wind's dropped, so let's have a look, see how they're doing. There we go. Oh, they smell fantastic too. Some beautiful fresh soda bread rolls to have with our soup. If you could smell them, you'd want to make those for sure. They will be beautiful for just dunking into the broth. Really delicious. I'm going to put that down because that's feeling really hot. Okay, getting very close to the end now. It's just been simmering away, look. Look at that. The lentils are thickening up the soup. They're starting to expand. Potatoes nearly cooked. The thyme can come out, look. See what I mean about the leaves all coming off? That's just rubbish now, and the leaves will stay in. I'm just going to find the other stem. There it is. There we go. Now we just need to put the leeks in. And then here I have some fresh kale which I've washed at home. Just need to take that off of its stem. This doesn't want to be added until close to the end because otherwise it will go a khaki colour. You want it to stay nice and fresh and vibrant. Oops. Just roughly chop it. That's ready from just a couple of minutes from finishing. We just chuck that in. Right, we're nearly at the point the kale needs to go in now. So we're just going to chuck that in as it is. That'll just steam into the soup. Mix that in. Starting to get a really nice, thick looking soup broth now. Full of goodness and delicious as well. So the only thing left to go in now is my little bag of peas right at the end here, a little bit longer. Okay, final touch, just some peas. These are just frozen ones that I just decanted some off and put in a bag. We'll just chuck those in. Give that a stir. Lots of colour going on here. Couple of minutes, that's going to be done. Can't wait. Okay, starving. We're all starving. We're all ready. Turn this gas off. We have a lovely thick broth. Just going to keep us fueled up. It's cold weather. Serve some up. Almost like a stew, it's so thick and nourishing. There we go. And then all we need to do now is finish with some soda bread. Look at that. Can't go far wrong with that. Cheap meal to produce, absolutely delicious. We're dying to tuck in. Luke's been nagging me for the last 20 minutes when he's been smelling it cook. Let's get eating.
and then it decided to rain and hail.
Well, the weather's turned nasty. We're going to draw this off to a close. It's a good thing we did some cooking today because there hasn't been much carping around. I don't think anybody around us has caught either, so we've got out in the fresh air and kicked our heels, so it's been a good day. But now it's time for home. We'll catch you next time on Cooking and Carping.